hello to all my wonderful patrons. It is so good to see you again. Today's episode it's not going to be totally a riff on War of the Worlds. I want to kind of incorporate all kinds of alien invasion stories, but heavily inspired by War of the Worlds. So I'm going to need a thumbnail. Ooh, okay, I'm on the air, so I've got a finger in my ear, and there's aliens, so I'm pointing. There, is that a good thumbnail? Can we use that? Great. I hope that's the one we went with. Who's we? It's me. It's all me. Okay, time to get this thing rolling. Normally I improvise the opening, but I'm too much of a nerd that I don't want to blow the lines as parodying the original War of the Worlds. So, peek behind the curtain. I didn't improv this one. I planned it well in advance because I wanted to get it just right. But the body of the show, fully improvised. Okay. Let's get this show on the road. I may also give this to Stamps. I haven't decided yet. We'll find out in the edit. I don't edit, but, I edit a little. If it's going to make the show more fun, I edit. Okay? Whoo! Let's go. The Buzzsprout podcasting system and its affiliated apps present Bear Claw Billy and Fix My Carcast on the air in an alien invasion broadcast improvised by Bear Claw Billy. And then this is where the theme song goes. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, fuck me. I'm going to cheat. We're going to go over again. I spelled it weird. I confused myself. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlethems, the director of Fix My Carcast and star of these broadcasts, Bear Claw Billy. You're listening to Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy, and this is episode 70. Comedian and musician Keith Hebert is being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's and yet as mortal as his own. But first, housekeeping. This is the show where you pick what I say and how I say it. Pick a topic or prompt by donating to the GoFundMe, and vote on the gimmick by joining my Patreon for just $1 a month. Join at the $5 or higher level and also get bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes footage. Links are in the description. Also down there, merch. Get yourself some merch. Hey, it's getting warm out. Might as well get naked. Wait, that had nothing to do with the merch. No new donors this week. The total raised for paying off my car repair debt is holding at $1,401. Also, when we get to $2,000, we unlock an automatic show gimmick, which is I will watch all the Fast and Furious movies back to back and then record my podcast at the end. Fun fact, did you know that this whole podcast disappears when we hit $3,000? I am burning all the evidence. Hey, we've got a new theme song this week. Chad dropped $50 for me to add the URL of his website, turtlerocketbooks.com, your one-stop shop for science fiction stories written by the man himself. Do you like the new theme song? No? Oh, sorry, Chad. Well, if you make a donation of $50 or more, in addition to picking an episode topic, you get to change one thing about the theme song forever. Unless someone changes it back. Want me to sing as many digits of pi that I can memorize? $50 and I will get numerical on that theme song. No new patrons this week. Hey, did you know we don't have a single patron named Rosa? Weird. If any person named Rosa or Rose or Rosie or Rosita or Rosacea joins my Patreon by the time the next episode is recorded, I will title that episode Slow Cooker Enema Recipes, regardless of the episode topic. Come on, Roses, let's get piping hot. Honestly, I keep losing patrons, so let's move on. Now it's time for a topic suggestion. I'll suggest topics I think I could easily talk about for a whole episode, though admittedly I think the show is more fun when it's something I'm completely clueless about. So, something I could talk about is my personal favorite regional food customs. What city has the best pizza? Sandwich? Chili? I'll give you all my subjective num-num preferences if you donate. A reminder, my new album Ethalog is out on all kinds of streaming services, so please go check it out, leave a review, tell your friends, etc., etc. Check the links in the description to start chilling. I've actually been getting a lot of compliments on it, so thank you everyone who's listening to my album. Checking in on the best city in the world, based on which city listened to the last episode the most, and we've got a four-way tie between Biddeford, Maine, Westbrook, Maine, Portland, Maine, and Cranston, Rhode Island. Ties are broken by whichever city listened to the most episodes, and our big winner is, once again, Biddeford, Maine. Congratulations, Biddeford, Maine. Let it be known that your Mercer County Park, Kelsey Theater, and Market Fair Mall are the best in the world for 7 days. By the way, I'm not going to say which city, but while checking the podcast stats, I noticed that one of you is doing your absolute best to topple Biddeford as the best city in the world. It's working. You're very close. You're going to have to get some neighbors in on this, but I believe in you. Don't let us down. And also, Biddeford, keep up the good fight. Last episode, I had to talk about famous people who are 69 inches tall while doing a San Dimas accent. You can see video of me getting surprised by each 69-incher over on Patreon. Also, head over to Patreon for a bonus episode where I talk about my experiences at the Maine Comic and Toy Con. Okay, let's talk next week's gimmick poll. These are your choices for next week's episode gimmick. They are recorded in a closet, do it like a true crime documentary, do a 1920s gangster voice, and our returning gimmick, gargle water 5 times. Once again, that's recorded in a closet, do it like a true crime documentary, do a 1920s gangster voice, see? And gargle water 5 times. Remember that any gimmick that gets just a single vote is eligible for a second chance in 6 weeks. Be sure to vote over on Patreon. The poll closes Thursday, May 11th at noon Eastern America time. All right. Time for today's gimmick, which is do it like an alien invasion broadcast. Of course, gimmicks don't start until housekeeping is out of the way in case any of them prevent me from sharing vital information. But now, we are entering the gimmick zone. From this point on, gimmicks are active and everything is improvised. Today's topic comes to us from Chad for $50, and I've been asked to talk about classic sci-fi B-movies from the 50s and 60s. But first, we take you to the Hotel Martinet in Brooklyn, where Bobby Millett and his orchestra are offering a program of dance music. And then this is where I'll put the music. I need to figure out the voice I'm doing. Hold it a minute, folks. I'm so sorry to interrupt the dance music, but it seems we have a bulletin here. There seems to be reports of strange lights in the sky over Columbus, Ohio, Maine. We're so sorry to interrupt, but this is just coming into our newsroom now. Yes, give me that. Yes, please. Thank you. Well, here it are. Let me see. Yes, apparently lights of green and purple. Violet, it says here. Excuse me, not purple. Again, this is just coming into our offices right now. Well, there you have it. Yes, green and purple lights in the sky over Columbus, Ohio, Maine. We're being told not to panic. Everyone remain calm, and we will update you on this as the show goes on. Well, we hate to interrupt the dance music, so perhaps we can keep things light and discuss something else. Perhaps science fiction B-movies from the 50s and 60s, an era which may be before or after the time we're in right now. I, for one, am a huge fan of science fiction movies from the 50s and 60s. The more black and white, the better. What I particularly enjoy about them is that they are so imaginative, and no, the special effects are not always great, and no, the plot isn't always that, mind-blowing, but it is out of this world, and it's important to take a fanciful detour once in a while, and you can do a lot worse than B-movies from the 50s and 60s. Now, of course, what would we consider... Hold on a minute, folks, hold on, I'm just receiving word now. The lights seem to have stopped, so go about your business. Let me see here. This is, yes, scientists are reviewing the footage. They've already got several videos coming in from people all over Columbus, Ohio, Maine, and it appears the lights have stopped. Again, there is no cause for alarm. We simply go about your business. Well, in that case, I feel like we can stop talking about B movies and go back to our dance music. Again, apologies for the interruptions. You never know what's going to happen on Fix My Carcast. So we'll return now. Hold it a minute, folks. Hold on. I'm just being handed. Okay, the lights have returned, and they are now coming out of a lake. The lights, if this is to be believed, the lights are coming out of a lake. That's Lake Walters in Columbus, Ohio, Maine. It appears the same color, green and violet, coming out from the bottom of the lake. Scientists now advising leave the area if you are a resident or if you are vacationing on beautiful Lake Walters in Columbus, Ohio, Maine. Yes, so I guess we'll keep it right here for more updates if this is your only source of updates. As you know, podcasts, which go out live and in real time, are the best way to get updates about what's going on in your area. So, I guess my apologies to Bobby Millette, but we'll have to continue this another time. Everyone in Columbus, Ohio, Maine, which it is worth noting that is where this show is broadcast from. Anyone near Lake Walters, please heed the warnings of the scientists. After all, the scientists have come from the American government, and the American government is our friend, and science is our friend. Though, if you watched a lot of sci-fi B movies, you might get perhaps an opposite idea, for oftentimes science is the problem. One of my all-time favorite B movies is, of course, Them, which is about giant ants, and it is just an absolute classic. One thing that I love whenever people watch Them, it actually has very little to do with the big bugs and the fact that they just get the job done. They're like, oh no, here come giant bugs. And everybody just comes together and squashes them. There's no conflict. It's just, all right, giant bugs, well, we've got a plan. Boy, wouldn't it be nice if we had that kind of organization when there was, like, I don't know, a coup or a pandemic? Anyway, what year is it right now? Nobody knows. Oh, I've just gotten a bulletin from the scientists. They don't know what year it is. That's strange. I, too, cannot recall what year it is. Interesting. The scientists do not have any theories currently on why no one can remember what year it is, but I'm sure we'll get more updates on this story as it develops. Again, people near Lake Walters, please be very careful. So, there is also the question of what would one consider a B movie? If you enjoy a movie, isn't it a good movie? B movie sort of suggests that, like, there's lower quality to it. Like perhaps A Room or whatnot. But see, I'm consulting our records now, and according to this list, Barbarella is a B movie. Now, perhaps an homage or a throwback to B movies, that I could accept, but like, I would not consider Barbarella. King Kong is also listed here as a B movie, and to me that's a classic. I love anything with giant monsters. This just in, folks. Scientists are now reporting other memory losses. No one is aware of what year it is, and no one can remember their own name. This is alarming. Again, they don't have any advice other than evacuating Lake Walters. They are now evacuating Lake Walters. If you do not know your own name, it is recommended you leave Lake Walters immediately, and also just in general, because again, the green and the violet coming out of the lake. Again, we will update you on this when we have a receipt that is scribbled on the back of. This is how I get all my messages when I record Fix My Carcast. You may not have heard this staff in previous episodes, but you should know that even though I am in charge of everything here, we've got a large staff of 75 people ready to run up with a receipt with something written on the back of it at a moment's notice. If you're watching the video version, pay no attention to the... Oh no, perhaps your memory is affected too and you can't see anything. Anyway, Death Race 2000 is considered a B movie? No, thank you. I disagree wholeheartedly with what's in our archives. Maybe if I add UFO or big bugs or something. Here we go. Invasion of the Saucermen. That's what I'm talking about. They Live. They Live is listed as a B movie in our archives, and I just don't agree with this at all. Now, Plan 9 from Outer Space, hell to the yes. That is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about old sci-fi B movies. Wait, this list is specifically ones that came out in the 21st century. Are we that far in the future? I don't know what year... Wait a minute. I don't know what year it is. Should I... You there, hand me a receipt with something written on it. Well, this just says I love you. Do I love you? Who are you? I don't remember who you are. Friends, we will update you as soon as we... Here's another bulletin. The lights have stopped. There are no more lights coming out of Lake Walters. Green nor violet. No light of any kind. I still don't know if I love the person who handed me this note, but this is a very bizarre day indeed. My friends, here we are. 50 of the best schlocky titles of all time. Now, once again, I don't know if I can... Gosh, every article in the archive has a million ads on it, and I can't even find how to get to the next page sometimes. Thumbnails? No, I want article view. Fuck you. Superman and the Mole Men is being regarded as a classic B-movie from the 50s and 60s. I take some issue with this. I have seen it. It's about subterranean mole people. They're not from the skies. Anyway, Untamed Women. I don't know what this is, but I'd love to watch this. Mesa of Lost Women. I'm sensing a pattern. Is the next one Attack of the 50-Foot Woman? By the way, they're using the remake of the 50-Foot Woman, which, also has its merits. I don't think you can get it in any official capacity, but you can find it on YouTube and watch it and enjoy it at your leisure. Folks, we've got another bulletin here, and it just says, I remember my name, it's Gary. Well, thank you, Gary. Do you love me, Gary? Okay, Gary doesn't seem to know if he loves me, but at the very least, Gary remembers that he's Gary again, and I'm Bear Claw Billy. All right, well, it looks like there was nothing to worry about, folks. Perhaps we can go back to the dance music, though I have to say the Twonky. This is an article from The Hollywood Reporter calling it, this list is the 50 best B-movie titles. Wait, this is based just on the titles? Well, that's... Nevertheless, I must tell you about this film, The Twonky, from 1953. A television set possessed by a being from the future becomes sentient and begins controlling the life of a college professor while his wife is out of town in this shockingly poignant prediction of our current society. Let me tell you what, I gotta check that out. No, see, I'm more familiar with this. It came from Outer Space, classic. Catwomen of the Moon, classic. There's always an undercurrent of sexual female tension with some of these films. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, absolute classic. Yes, them, of course. Monster from the Ocean Floor. I don't know if I've seen this, but I will tell you, as fun as these movies are, and sometimes it's to put on and make fun of, because in these movies, sometimes people don't act like human beings, and not because they're playing monsters, but just because they make baffling decisions to get themselves in danger. Because we like danger, don't we, people? We like to see people in danger, preferably if their dress is a little torn. One of my favorite things about old B-movies is that there is inevitably always a woman being carried away in a torn dress, but that almost never happens in most of these movies. I believe, off the top of my head, the poster for The Day the Earth Stood Still, Forbidden Planet, two classics. I would say those are A movies. I would not count them as B movies. But they both have, like, a lady whose dress is falling off on the cover, and that doesn't happen in the movie. Because sometimes you make a good science fiction movie, but you have to market it like it's a terrible science fiction movie. These are the rules. I'm just being handed a new bulletin here, and it says there's a woman with a torn dress at the front office. Well, I don't think that really relates to what's going on with the lights, but Very well. Well, Gary, send her away. Wait, no. What am I saying? Invite her in. Get her a fresh change of clothes. Give her your clothes, Gary. You don't have a change of clothes here? Well, Gary, what am I even paying you for? I'm not paying you. Well, all right. Okay. Well, help that poor woman out. I don't know what a woman in a torn dress is doing here, where we record Fix My Carcast, hosted by Bear Claw Billy. Well. Friends, let's talk about some more B-movies. The Creature with the Atom Brain. Now, first of all, how could a creature function with a brain that size? You know, I don't want to just read you someone else's article. I'm just going through this to get, inspiration for B-movies that I like. The Beast with a Million Eyes, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Classic. The Cosmic Man Appears in Tokyo. I have seen this. It is bonkers. I used to host a show where we would make fun of movies in real time, and this was one of the public domain movies that I saw that is just wild. They look like Starro from DC Comics, if you've ever read that sort of thing. Just big stars with an eye in the middle. And, folks, we've got another bulletin here. Yes, another bulletin. It appears there are no big stars with eyes in the middle. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for that. What happened to Gary? Oh, okay, well, you just keep bringing me bulletins. Plan 9 from Outer Space, absolute classic. Attack of the Crab Monsters. See, the best thing about these B-movies is the suspension of disbelief. When you watch them, you know that it's just a guy waggling papier-mâché around. You know that it's just a pie plate on a string, but that's half the fun, is, to be in that comforting glow of cinema and just feeling the magic of the illusion that's being presented to you very poorly and laughing at how bad it is, but also enjoying the effort that went into it. That goes a long way when it comes to special effects, is just stopping and thinking about the people who poured all their talents into this. And that's what I appreciate so much about old silly B movies. Folks, we've got another. All right, okay, this is a major one here, folks. Scientists now saying, stay in your home, do not open the door, and do not look out the windows. Well, good thing my windows are already covered. They're warning here, if you look out the windows, you may go violently insane. Well, folks, I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on here and how any of it works, but that's the bulletin from the scientists. Stay indoors. There's nothing about locking your doors, which is interesting. Just stay indoors and don't look out the window or you'll go violently insane. Well, good to know. And I'm not looking out the window right behind me. Why would I do something like that? I want to keep you safe and I want to keep me safe. All right, let's talk about some more wonderful B-movies. Oh, The Mole People, Fire Maidens from Outer Space. And I just want to point out every one of these posters, dress half ripped. I sure hope that lady out front is doing okay. Invasion of the Saucermen. There is a movie I watched recently. I cannot remember what it is. I'm typing in bug-eyed UFO movie because there is this. I always forget the title of the film, but it is. Oh gosh, sorry. I'm having memory trouble again. I'm not sure what's going on here. But there is a movie. I know Elvira watched it once. And I saw it on... All right, friends, I can't read too long because then I forget how to use my mouth. Which would be a tragedy for many, many people. Anyway... B-movies, the great son of a fuck. I remember it was on Paramount Plus, an app that anyone only has for Star Trek, or they're old. Those are the two reasons to have Paramount Plus, and for me it's a little column A, a little column B, but I watched this movie. Oh gosh, it's gonna bother me that I don't know it, but they have these gigantic cartoony big eyes, and the pilot... There's a pilot who the doctor tells him, don't do anything exciting, like playing cribbage. And it's just my absolute favorite line in the whole movie. It is hilarious. Why can I not remember what this is called? Excuse me while I type. I know that Elvira once did a special called Attack of the Killer Bee Movies. And some of the films they showed were Killers from Space. My goodness. Killers from Space is the name of the movie that I'm thinking of. Check it out. It is wild. There's so much filler, because another interesting thing about B movies is that it keeps the budget down to just have characters running around. And one of the funniest things about Killers from Space is there's like 30 minutes of a guy just investigating a government office, and when you're watching it with your buddies and you're already laughing your ass off at how silly everything is, it is hilarious. Just like, what is this? I feel like a lot of these movies do this. Oh gosh, is it Attack of the Spider Women? There's something about a spider, Tarantula Island, something like that. And like, a lot of these movies, most of the runtime is them going to where the monster is and finding the monster. Like, the monster never comes to them. This just in. Hold on, I've been handed a bulletin. Thank you, Charisse. Oh, that's good. I remembered your name, and I'm Bear Claw Billy, and it's the year... Anyway, this bulletin. Look out, appears that there are creatures. Yes, we've confirmed there are creatures now roaming the streets of Columbus, Ohio, Maine, and they are 2 feet tall. Not much of a threat. I could kick one. It says, "Do not kick them." Okay, good to know. The bulletin from the scientists: do not kick them. If you see any violet or green light, run in the other direction. So this seems like an update to the last bit of advisement, which said to stay in your home. They are now saying if you see light, run. I do not see any updates on what the light does. There's nothing about what the light does. They must be in a hurry. They're updating us as quick as possible. Thank you to our American scientist boys over in the government military for all you do. Okay, so if we see any green or violet light, we're going to have to end the show. And then we'll have to stop talking about cinema classics like Attack of the Puppet People. Good Lord. The Blob. Now, The Blob, that's a classic. Again, you'd call it a B movie, but it is so great. Also, the remake of The Blob. The thing that's great about old sci-fi B movies is a lot of times they get remade by people who grew up with them, but the special effects have gotten better. You should see the remake of The Blob, and of course, The Thing, which is a remake of The Thing from Another World. The special effects in those, amazing. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about these old black and white B movies like Terror from the year 5000. Yeah, there's some very good stuff in here. Beautiful Women and the Hydrogen Man. I have not heard of a lot of these, and like my whole deal is looking up bad movies, so you'll never run out. You get into B movies and you will never run out. You know, I can tell you about a movie I watched last week. I actually meant to talk about it on the bonus episode, and I didn't because it had completely left my mind. There is a movie starring Bela Lugosi called The Ape Man, and if you think you don't want the ending spoiled, then perhaps fast forward a little bit. It is about a part ape man, and the various, mistakes of science that he commits, though science never commits mistakes. It's always got our best interests in mind. And so the ape man, has his little adventure, goes on his little rampage, but there's a guy who's just kind of in every other scene, like he's always just there helping someone or saying hello, and the whole movie, me and my friends are cracking up because we don't know who this fellow is. And then at the very end, someone asks him, "Say, who are you?" And he says, "I wrote this story. Kinda screwy, huh?" Movies are miracles. The fact that you can put that in a movie and put it in theaters, sure, the writer of the story has been wandering around the whole time with no bearing on the plot whatsoever. But at the end, he's going to tell you, pretty nutty, huh? It's like they hedged their bets, like, yeah, this movie was kind of screwy. Oh yeah? Well, the movie thinks that, and it's telling you at the end. This is the wonderful delight. I know so many people who will not watch black and white movies like The Brain That Wouldn't Die, Revenge of the Virgins. Well, this just looks like a pornography, but also some great cinema. Pornography, check it out. But But I know a lot of people who won't watch things that are in black and white because they're boring. But I'm telling you, the B movies aren't boring. I mean, they're their own kind of boring. But you know, if you put some things in you and you know, open your mind a little bit, let me tell you what, you can do a lot worse than 50s B movies because they are entertaining. Why, here's a normal-sized lizard attacking tiny cars in The Giant Gila Monster. And that's just fun. Don't you want to watch a lizard crawl over some tiny cars? That's all I need on a Saturday night. That and a 30-Foot Bride of Candy Rock starring Lou Costello. What in the absolute hell? Man, I'm learning so much. You know, I really need to dive back into cinema because even though pretty much once a week I try to watch a bad movie to keep my mind sharp, still, there's so much out there. As the tagline for Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie once said, every year Hollywood makes thousands of movies. This is one of them. Or maybe it was hundreds. Well, I lose my nerd cred. Anyway, the 30-Foot Bride of Candy Rock. That's good stuff. The Man Who Could Walk Through Walls. I'd watch that, sure. Anything for a laugh. Hold on, we've got another bulletin. All right, this says, it just says there's too many of them spelled out with 9 A's. That seems like a ripoff of Monty Python, if I'm being completely honest. Though it does say it is not the Spanish Inquisition, so that's good. So we do know that these creatures are not the Spanish Inquisition, so that's good. Well, I'm ready to wrap up the show. If you are, it looks like we'll be okay as long as we stay in our homes. So thanks for listening. I'm sorry we had to put the band concert on pause, but it's more important that you get these bulletins. So yes, last we know there's too many of the creatures, and that's all we know. So that's a good place to leave it. I honestly feel like I can hear tiny footsteps outside my window. I'm going to take a quick look and maybe we'll continue the broadcast. But as always, trust scientists. They've got our backs. And let me just see what's going on.